Here's another example where we're given a probability distribution table and we need to find out a fair bit of information from that. We start off by needing to find K. K is this unknown here. Now, the piece of information we need to think about for this is that the total probability, or all probabilities, add to 1. Therefore, whatever number this needs to be for these to all add to 1 will be the solution. So I'm just writing down what I need to know. And my answer for that will be 0.05. So K will equal 0.05. And now for the rest of the question, I'll make sure I know that. So I'll write that in. Next, the most likely outcome. Most likely outcome, that is the one that has the highest probability. Or, as we would say, it's the modal outcome. So the mode here is this one here, 0.35. So the outcome would be 200. Not the probability, but the x value. Our next question asks us the expected value. The expected value is also the mean, and I've got a couple of formulas down here because they're going to help us. So e to the x is my expected value. And to work that out, I need to multiply the x value by the probability. So it'll be 100 times 0.5 plus 150 times 1.5, and so on. And that equals 225. So I'll put that in a box so the examiner can see it easily. The next part of the question, D, asks us what e to the 2x plus 3 equals. Now that's the same as saying what is 2e to the x plus 3. And if you went through all your working out and all that stuff, you'd end up getting the same thing. So it's much easier now we've worked out e to the x to be able to say, therefore, that's 2 times 225 plus 3, which equals 453. Part E asks us for the variance and the standard deviation. Now, standard deviation is the same as this character here. So I'm just going to write that SD down so we can see. So my variance is e of x squared minus the expected value. Now remember, the expected value is mu. So what I can do is I can do e of x squared minus mu, and I'll get my variance. So I've written my formula down, and now let's go in. E to the x squared, I can't just square this in the same way I did with the previous thing. I just can't square e to the x and think I'm going to get the same thing. I need to go step by step. So e to the x squared is going to be 100 squared times 0.05 plus 150 squared times 0.15, and so on. And I get an expression like this, and then I have to subtract e of x squared, so mu squared, which is 225 squared. And I'll put all of that into the calculator and work it out, and I'll get an answer which is 4,375. So therefore, my variance will be 4,375. But my standard deviation equals the square root of that, which will equal 66.14. So they're my two answers for part D. The next question asks, what is var of 2x plus 3, the variance of 2x plus 3? Now, the variance of 2x plus 3 Remember variance, we have this squaring stuff going on. That actually equals 2 squared times the variance of x, which will be 4 times 4375, which comes to 17,500. And that sees us now at the last part of the question. Now there's a piece of theory that tells us that the probability, this is asking the probability of x being within 2 standard deviations of the mean. So if I said the probability that x is within 2 standard deviations of the mean, I should write that properly. That is estimated to be 0.95. 95% of data thereabouts on a normal curve is expected to fall within 2 standard deviations of the mean. But we have a probability distribution table. So because we have that, we can actually work out what numbers are 2 standard deviations of the mean. So first of all, if I consider my mean is my answer to question C, so it's 225. My standard deviation is 66.14. So therefore, if I put those points into here, what I'm actually looking for is the probability that x is between 2 values here. One is 225 minus 2 standard deviations. I'll make sure there's a decimal point there. And one that x is less than 225 plus 2 standard deviations. So now I'm going to work out these numbers and then we'll be able to look on the table and see what happens. So that's the same as saying the probability of x being between 92.72 and 357.28, which means all of these points here that I'll tick in green, they lie within those 2 bounds. But my point here in orange doesn't. So I can add up all these probabilities. And wouldn't you know it, 0.5 plus 0.15 plus 0.35 plus 0.25 plus 0.15 equals 0.95. Now we answered that the proper way, but it also agrees with what we would have expected. So that's a double whammy and lots of happiness and joy from both you and the examiner.